Take a few deep breaths out. So exhale a few times. Whether you just take a deeper breath in before you sigh the breath out, or whether you just exhale and notice that you're exhaling. And you're exhaling physically, exhaling mentally, exhaling emotionally, exhaling psychically. So just beginning to empty the container. And let the sound of the singing bowl be that transition, again, the entryway into your practice, bringing your awareness to the body. So we start with the basic presence. So we want to be awake and aware in this moment. So starting to sense and feel everything that you can inside and in your surroundings. So start to acknowledge that you're on your mat. You're here to practice. You notice where you are in your space and how you're feeling. And then from presence, we move to orientation. So you orient yourself in space. So you start to notice that you're grounded. There's a seat to your pose, or there's a foundation to your pose. There's support for the body. There's real outsourced support for you right now. And then at the same time, also starting to feel more centered. So see if you can trace the plumb line of your body. So from the tip of the tail to the crown of the head and back. So not only you're connected to the earth, which supports you, but also start to extend your awareness of being connected to perhaps people around you. So maybe in your day, your family is there in the background, maybe not in the same space right now, maybe they are. So connecting to your support systems, but also to everything that surrounds you. That's your orientation. And then we move on to noticing. So noticing your body. Notice the body that you inhabit right now. So the state of overwhelm in your body. Where is it in your physical body? How does it feel? Can you locate it? And then we are allowing. So we allowing this emotional state to be here. We don't want to push it away. And even consider a possibility that for today, the state of overwhelm is your teacher. So this is your teacher for the day. So we allow for the teacher to be there. We don't resist. And finally, we come to movement. An initial movement in the body is really the movement of your breathing. So notice how your breath flows in the body, and maybe without forcing or pushing or trying really hard, let the breath spread. So you can exhale a bit more, inhale a bit more, and see how you can use the breath to touch all those places in the body that may be a little bit dormant at the moment, and also all those places that are affected by the overwhelm. Those of you practicing Ujjayi breath, by all means use Ujjayi breath. Just don't let it be an autopilot setting, so you're mindful of what's happening. So we are present to this moment. We are oriented in our connection to the ground and our surroundings. We are noticing always the state of our body, state of our mind. And then we allowing for whatever is naturally there to be there, in this case our state of overwhelm, which is our teacher. And then we start to move, but the first movement, the foundation of movement, is our breath. And so really in this mini practice, what we're saying is we're saying yes to ourselves. We're not denying any part of ourselves. And if the breath is choppy, that's okay, let it be choppy. And if the breath can evolve and become smooth, let it be smooth. We're not really asking of anything of ourselves or our bodies or our breath. And we'll gently start to move the body from here. So if your eyes were closed, you can blink them open. And the first place we're going to go is we're going to rearrange the legs. So if you were lying down or if you were kneeling, just take a moment in your own time, just transition so you can sit with your legs crossed. If you, like me, had the legs folded, just extend them away, flex, extend, do what you need to do before crossing your legs with one shin in front of the other and having your feet flexed, just to protect your knees. Pad away if you need to, and you can still stay on the seat. And the first place we're going to go to is so-called Sufi rolls. So I'm going to go anti-clockwise first. There we go. I had to think about it. And so there is no specific way of moving here. You just want to consider. So this is kind of like, this is one of those kind of a little bit chaotic movements, I guess. So it's not like a very precise held asana. And I often think of a vortex of a hurricane, the spinning around. And sometimes that's how you feel in your life. Everything's spinning. And so you kind of mimic that spinning, rotational movements in your body. And you start to synchronize it with your breath. And again, you're welcome to close your eyes. And you're welcome to make these circles bigger. You can make them smaller. You can make them faster. You can make them slower. So you can just have a sense of your own system. So you start to kind of mimic the state of your life in your body. And then as you get into the rhythm of this, you can then start to modify it. So you can slow down. You can be more deliberate. And sometimes, the neck and the head get disconnected, which what happens in the overwhelm. You get completely disconnected from the body, just live in your head. And so see if you can allow the head and neck to follow this movement. Just a few more here. And again, you can spend as long as you like here. This is just kind of my way of sensing this and being with it. You can pause, you can stay here longer. So what eventually you do perhaps is just start to circle smaller and make your way to that same midline. So start to find the center. So you start to find a still point as you slowly circle in. Pause. And then we'll take our hands and reach behind you. Fingers possibly pointing forwards, but it's up to you. You can point them back. And just lean enough so you can lift the chest. You can lift the chest skywards and
the head, leave the head alone. You don't have to drop it back unless it's okay for your neck.